Hey everyone, it's Murray Fife here from Microsoft, here with some tips and tricks on Dynamics 365. And today I thought I'd show a scenario that I created a couple of months ago around the asset management module within Dynamics. And what I wanted to do is I wanted to go out and have different ways that people could interact with Dynamics around asset management. And what I wanted to do is possibly integrate some bots into the scenario, and then also use some of the business events to go out and notify people when tasks are performed. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through a scenario here where I'm going to create a maintenance request, but I'm going to create it through Teams on my phone. And then also what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and process that through finance and supply chain management inside of the asset management module. And then that's going to trigger a business event that then notifies the technician or the maintenance worker that they need to perform the task. So this is a way to streamline the processes and sort of work through them. So let's look at this. And so this is the first step. And I've got my phone here, and I can start off with a maintenance request. And say, for example, this is, I think this is Ted Howard, who's connected to this phone. And he sees something, a piece of machinery that isn't quite right. So normally what he'd have to do is he'd have to go back and find a terminal and initiate a maintenance request. But that takes time. Now also he could do this through the mobile handheld, but this is a little bit cooler. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to say that I want to raise a maintenance request. And so this is working away. And if I close this down, then we'll see that it's asking me, is there currently downtime associated with this production? And I could say yes. So what this is going to do is when I create my maintenance request, then it's going to have a priority of 1 or a severity of 1. So now it's asking me for my piece of machinery, and I'm just going to put in the asset tag here. But I could go out and I could have a look up on the name. I could maybe scan in a QR code. I could take a picture. I could do some more clever things. And this is saying that, okay, there's the air knife on line 1 is down. So what it's doing is this correct? And I'm going to say yes. And now what it's going to do is it's going to create a maintenance request for me directly from my phone. We can see the maintenance request number that has been created, and then also in a second it's going to also give me a link to that actual maintenance request. So that's the first part of the process. So I've gone out and I've created this maintenance request. So let's go over and move on to the next phase, which would be working through the maintenance request. So what I've got here is I'm actually over on my desktop, and what you can see is I've got the same conversation here within Teams that I was having on my phone, because I was actually doing it inside of Teams. But what I can do is I can go out and start a new session and get into my environment. Now, in a second, the bot is actually going to send me a link to my maintenance request. But if I want to, I can go out and I can go into my maintenance requests here. And the maintenance request was 945,457, which is this one here. And so now I'm going to go into the asset management, and as you can see here, my bot has just sent me a message, and if we want to see what that looks like, it actually gave me a link here which would take me directly into that maintenance request. So it's sending me notifications along the way. But I'm going to return back to here, and this is my maintenance request. And if you haven't seen this, then what we can do is we can change the status of our maintenance request. And then also what I can do is I can go out and create a work order here. And I think I just want to do an inspection here and then just create the work order. So that's gone out and created the work order for me that I can start scheduling. Now I'm going to say that I want to work on this maintenance order, and as a maintenance manager I'm going to release it. Then the second part that I'm going to do is I'm going to actually dispatch this, and I'm going to send this to Ted Howard. So, or I could go out and have it automatically select someone for me, but I'm just going to assign it to Ted. And then if we go into here, we can actually see the details, and we can see that it's been assigned to Ted, and Ted's been notified, and it's been put on the schedule for today to be processed. So this is what we've done now is we've gone out and we've assigned the tasks. So there's the final step in here, which is the business events. And what we can do with asset management is with any of the transactions, like when an asset gets scheduled for maintenance, when a work order gets created, or any of those other things, then it will fire off a trigger and trigger an event. And in our case, it's going to go out and notify Ted Howard that he's got a work order that needs to be worked on. So if I return back here to my desktop, then what I'll do is I'm going to swap over, and I'm over here I'm actually logged in as Ted, and he's just received a notification here that there's a work order that needs to be performed. So I'm just going to launch this work order, and I'm going to see that there's the work order's been assigned, and then what I can do is I could go out and start working through things and working on the task, and then also go out and access all of this directly from my handheld. But this is a process where I've gone through and I've created a work order from a Teams conversation with a bot. I processed it and then assigned it to someone, and then in this case Ted got notified of the process or of the work order that he's been assigned. So hopefully this was interesting and sort of shows you a little bit about how the asset management works, and also how we can go out and streamline this and add some smarts and do some cool things with bots and leveraging teams and a whole lot of sort of things built on the back end. So hopefully this was interesting, and if you have any questions, then you can see all my contact information, my LinkedIn information down below, and don't hesitate just to reach out to me and comment in the stream if you want to as well. So thanks a lot, and have a great day.